And tonight there are serious questions about how long it took for law enforcement to respond and take out the gunman in the Uvalde Elementary School massacre. During a press conference today, DPS officials said the suspect was not confronted by a school resource officer as previously thought before he entered an unlocked door.
And it appears he was barricaded inside that classroom where he killed 19 children and 2 teachers for about an hour before he was finally shot and killed. It is shocking and upsetting news for families of the victims and the community as they struggle to cope with the immense loss of so many young lives and the 2 teachers who tried to protect them. Again tonight we have team coverage in Uvalde. Adam Bennett sat down with the father of one of those young victims. But first, Xavier Walton with a closer look at the timeline of how it all happened. Xavier.
Len, Mia, you mentioned it just a second ago. It took approximately 60 minutes for a tactical team to get in place before entering into Robb Elementary School. Sadly, by then, it was too late.
That's fear mounting with frustration as families were trying to rush into Robb Elementary School. Authorities say at 11:40 Tuesday, the gunman entered through the unlocked back door. 4 minutes later, Uvalde police and Uvalde ISD officers make entry. They're met with gunfire, take cover, and call for backup.
We need equipment. We need specialty equipment. We need body armor. We need precision riflemen.
According to DPS, with the gunman barricaded inside, it took approximately 1 hour for a tactical team to arrive. The video shows what it was like for parents outside the school.
I was angry. I was scared. You know, my son. You know.
How could this happen to the babies?
Jackie and Martine's son was inside during the shooting. He made it out alive.
And that is it, 21.
But to honor those who didn't, flowers and a balloon for each soul. One by one, Jackie stopped.
Maroon for Uvalde, school colors.
Emotion building with every step.
Sad. Can't believe this is going on right now.
You know, and as parents try to make sense of this sadness, investigators are working to provide answers for them, including why it took some 60 minutes to get a tactical team in place and then go into the school. Reporting live here in Uvalde, Xavier Walton, I'll send it back to you.
Of course, still lots of questions. As you said, we'll stay on top of this story, try to get those answers for you. Xavier, thank you.
Let's bring in Adam Bennett now. Adam, you sat down with the father of one of the young victims. How is he doing tonight?
Well, Mia, he told me that reality really hit him today, but he did reach out to one of our colleagues to say he was ready to talk, motivated by memories of his daughter that he wanted to share. Far from the cameras, the memorials, and the reason for all of it, we met Jesse Rodriguez and his fiancée Esmeralda this afternoon in this Uvalde park.
Still mad. I'm sick. I'm angry.
Jesse's first day back in the city since leaving town to block out the worst day of his life.
It's ugly. It's ugly because a piece of my life is gone.
His 10-year-old daughter, Annabelle, was murdered inside Robb Elementary. Rodriguez didn't want to talk about that. Instead, he wanted to tell me about the girl who loved school and hated missing class.
She's been on the road many times, up to the last day.
Rodriguez says his daughter was curious, including about the family's carpentry business.
Last things I was teaching them was putting laminate flooring. This is my baby.
Annabelle adored the family's 2-year-old dog, Patrona, and wanted to be a veterinarian. And she enjoyed goofing around with her twin sister, Angeli, who was homeschooled. 10 years of good times, Rodriguez is now putting into words.
But I didn't think she'd be gone like that soon.
Stemming from a pain that is indescribable. And Annabelle's cousin, Jackie, was also killed in this shooting. Rodriguez tells me he's really leaning on the support of family right now to keep moving forward. Mia?
It is so very much for one family. Our hearts are with them tonight. Adam, thank you. County coroner who responded to Tuesday's massacre says he will never get over what he saw when he entered the school to identify the victims. Precinct 4 Justice of the Peace Lalo Diaz can see the 21 wooden crosses for the victims in a city park across from his office. He tells us he had to use photos and DNA samples to identify the victims. He eventually figured out 49-year-old teacher Irma Garcia, with whom he went to high school with, was one of the teachers killed after spotting family photos on her desk.
It breaks my heart, and I broke down a little bit, and I'm probably going to break down in the future. It's just one of those things where you're not prepared for what you just saw.
And even more heartbreaking was news that Garcia's husband, Joe, passed away today from a massive heart attack. This was Joe Garcia just this morning in the gray shirt, leaving red roses at the memorial and cross that bears his wife's name. He reportedly passed away after returning home. The couple leaves behind their 4 children.
The Houston area doing its part, standing with the people of Uvalde. Folks in Fort Bend County coming together this evening to remember the victims. Fort Bend County Judge K.P. George led the vigil, during which the names of the 21 victims were read. Faith leaders offered prayers, while George and other officials called for action like tougher gun policies and acknowledging these shootings can happen anywhere.
This could have been us. And you have seen it's happening in Buffalo. It's happening various parts in California. It's happening everywhere. So it could have been us. Common sense, gun laws. And also they believe we could uphold our Second Amendment. We could do both, and we need to do both.
George says it's important to show the residents in Uvalde they are not alone.
New tonight, Governor Greg Abbott will not attend the NRA convention, which kicks off at the GRB tomorrow. Instead, he'll leave a pre-recorded message. He plans to return to Uvalde tomorrow to talk about state resources available for those impacted by the shooting. At last check, Senator Ted Cruz and former President Trump are still planning to attend the convention. And security is being beefed up in anticipation of protests from both sides of the gun debate.
Yeah, Matt Doherty joining us live outside the GRB tonight with what you can expect there over the next several days. Matt?
Well, tens of thousands of people are expected to show up here over the next few days. This year's event is especially controversial, though. Lots of protesters are already voicing their disapproval.
I feel very strongly that Mayor Turner should cancel the NRA convention.
Demonstrators stood in protest outside of City Hall today, requesting the mayor call off the convention.
There will be probably a number of people who will be protesting and voicing their views.
Mayor Sylvester Turner said in a press conference today the NRA booked the event 2 years ago, and even if people don't like it, there's nothing the city can do.
Where plans and have already been made, you just can't cancel that convention.
We will not allow our Second Amendment rights to be taken away from us by a bunch of cheap politicians.
For those persons who will be attending the NRA, whether we agree with their positions that they take on guns, we certainly will be providing the necessary security for those individuals who will be attending the NRA convention.
The mayor says he expects around 80,000 people to attend the convention over the course of 3 days in downtown. Barricades have already started to pop up on some streets, but we still don't know all of the streets that will be closed. The city said it would be releasing a map of the closures, but we're still waiting to see it. Multiple protests are planned during the course of the event. We're told they will be confined to Discovery Green. Adding to what could be a traffic mess in downtown, Fort Bend ISD will be conducting its graduation ceremonies at the Toyota Center Friday and Saturday. Now, President Trump is expected to be here tomorrow for that. Nobody will be allowed to have a gun in the room when he speaks. That's nothing new, though. That's been the long-term policy of the Secret Service. Back to you.